hindsight is 2020, but foresight is priceless. Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. So today I wanted to talk about a problem here in my city, but would imagine if it's something that's happened here, it's probably happening throughout the country, so probably applicable to wherever you are as well. You might recall last week I released a video regarding the storm that we had here in Sacramento, and I had shown a picture of a nearby house that the large evergreen tree had fallen on top of the roof. It was a big storm, by Sacramento standards anyway. It was a big storm, and the mayor, Darrell Steinberg, along with local city council member Howard Chan, are facing strong backlash right now for the lack of a response for our local homeless population. There is a warming center in Sacramento that was closed the night of the storm. It had been opened the night before, but it was closed the night of the storm. And the reason it was closed was because it did not meet the threshold of 32 degrees for it to be open. So if it doesn't reach 32 degrees, it's not cold enough to justify opening the warming center. So just to reiterate that, it had been opened the night before, and it was closed on the day of what was dubbed to be the biggest storm that we've had in years in this city. There are a lot of things to be angry about this. We could be angry about the fact that at least four homeless people died last week. We could be angry about the fact that countless numbers of tents were completely destroyed and homeless communities were completely wiped out. We could be mad about the fact that Darrell Steinberg was unable to implement a solution the day of, some kind of exception to the county rules that require a 32-degree temperature in order for the warming center to be opened. We could be mad about the fact that the warming center itself only holds 60 people in a population of around 5,500 homeless people here in Sacramento. We could be upset about the fact that there's no transportation for homeless people to this singular warming center. We could be upset about the fact that Howard Chan, the one responsible for this warming center, chose to not reach out to the county to try to get an exception for this extreme weather event and allow it to be opened. And his justification was that he knew they would say no. Okay, we could be angry about all of this. The thing that I'm most upset about here is that this could have been dealt with. There was no prior planning. And this is something that I notice happening a lot in society, and it really bothers me. It could be extrapolated to COVID, a lot of things in this country. We have the ability to foresee. I've said it before, I don't have access to any kind of special knowledge, but I knew before the storm hit that the storm was coming. It was in the paper. The fact that we don't have contingencies already in place for stuff like this is just mind-boggling to me. And I am just frankly getting sick and tired of actions in this country being a reaction and not a proactive thinking ahead. There is plenty of blame to go around. Howard Chan can be called out for his failure to make a good faith attempt to get the warming center open. It could also be passed around to Mayor Steinberg for not having the foresight to say, hey, you know what? 60-mile-an-hour winds are going to be coming Tuesday night. Perhaps we can do something about the 5,500 homeless people in our city. Blame could be passed to the county officials for having these rules in place in the first place. At least they're not what they used to be. They used to be you had to have freezing cold temperatures 3 nights in a row before you could have the warming center opened. But aside from all that, I'm just so frustrated with the lack of foresight on this issue and on so many other issues. And it's not just my city. It's happening all across the country. It's been happening. It's what we do in America. We react. We don't think ahead. And I'm just getting so tired of it. We have an arena here in our city. It's gone by the name of Power Balance Pavilion. It's gone by the name of Sleep Train Arena. However, it will always be Arco Arena, the former home of the Sacramento Kings. It fit 17,310 fans in attendance. There is a lot of room in that arena. There is nobody using that building for anything right now. There's also a practice facility right next door, also a big facility, not being used for anything right now. These are just a couple of options off the top of my head that I could think of as a potential place to house some of these people. But we are not doing anything about it. We're not doing anything with it. And I'm just getting sick and tired of it. I don't have a solution right now, but I do hear a lot about community networking, community building, especially as we hopefully get out of COVID here soon. I hope that we can, as a community, and I use community to mean that's everybody in my community and everywhere else, to find solutions to these problems, because our government has shown to us time and time again that it will not take care of its people. They will not take care of the real needs. They will instead cower behind regulations and fear and fail to do what needs to be done. What especially infuriates me about this, really compounding the issue here, the next day, the day after this storm hit, we still didn't hit the 32-degree threshold. But you know what? Steinberg was able to open the warming center. And you know how he was able to do that? He declared an emergency. And by declaring a state of emergency, he was able to sidestep county regulations. Why couldn't he have done that the day before? Why did it take the storm hitting for us to actually see it? It's just like it takes seeing 450,000 people die of a pandemic for a lot of people to still not see it as a big deal. I don't know what the solution is there. It seems like another example of hearts and minds. But I'd like to think that as a society we are better than this, and we have the potential to create some kind of change, not just in our government, not just in our regulations, but in our ways of thinking and approaching problems. One warming center that fits 60 people is just a slap in the face to the problems of this city. And I can only imagine it's the same by and large across the country. I hope that we can be better than this as a community. You know, hindsight is 20/20, but foresight is priceless. I know we're better than this. Anyway, thanks a lot. I'll be talking to you again real soon. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.